Good evening. This is Tuesday, November 17th, 2020 meeting of the Town of Berlin Planning Board. As a preliminary matter, please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some of the attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that folks may be able to see you. The Teenage Ninja Turtle t-shirt that you decided to wear tonight, or anything else you intend to or not screen share on your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured and recorded forever and ever and ever, and possibly wind up as a TikTok video to be shared amongst your friends and neighbors. This is Tom Sanford, Chair of the Planning Board. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me prior to me calling the meeting to order. Planning Board members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Jay Teach.
Here.
Janet McDonald, sorry.
No, that was both of us
Carolyn
put together.
I blended them. I knew I was doing that too. I'm so sorry. Carolyn McDonald.
Here.
Janet Campbell.
Here.
Timothy Wheeler. Thumbs up. It's good enough. And Tom Sanford here. We have no anticipated speakers, so we'll skip that part of it. With a quorum of the board, I call this meeting to order at 7:47 p.m. Tuesday, November 17th, 2020. This is an open meeting of the Planning Board conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. Specific information and guidelines for remote participation by members of the public can be found on the Town of Berlin website. The governor's order suspends the requirements of an open meeting law to have all meetings in publicly accessible physical location and allows and encourages us to participate remotely. For this meeting, the Planning Board is convening using the Zoom platform as posted on the agenda, which includes the link for the public to join this meeting. Meeting ground rules. I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I'll invite each board member by name to provide any comment, questions, penetrating insights, and/or motions. Please hold all of your insights until your name is called. Board members and speakers on the agenda, please remember to mute your microphone or computer when you're not speaking. Speak clearly to ensure accurate minutes are being recorded. For any response, please wait until you're yielded the floor to state your name before speaking. If board members wish to engage in conversation with each other, please do so through me to avoid multiple conversations happening at the same time. Lastly, please note that each vote in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Thank you all for your understanding and cooperation. Now, on with the show. Tim, you look totally different. Go away for 30 seconds to read this and look what happens.
Right?
Right. So first item on the agenda is the budget request. So in highlight
Minutes from the last meeting.
Oh, very good. I will entertain motions for.
And they were great minutes too. I sent you the draft with all the attachments and the videos and everything.
And it was very penetrating for insight and perfect as far as I'm concerned. So I will listen to motions.
To accept the minutes.
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
From planning board meeting 10/27/2020.
That's exactly the one.
As recorded.
Second it.
Second, I got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing
I
none.
thought they were great.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay. Fantastic job. You can get a raise. And I know how to figure it out in payroll.
There you go. Double his pay.
Yeah, exactly. Roll call vote. Jay Teach.
Aye.
Carolyn McDonald.
Aye.
Janet Campbell.
Aye.
Tom Sanford. Aye. Timothy Wheeler. Thumbs up. Good enough. By proxy. So minutes are accepted. Thank you. right, now on to the budget request. So bottom line is that they're going to level fund the budget. They claim, and I don't recall, I thought we got a little bit more, but they said no, and they looked it up and proved it and everything else. We got $1,000 last year. So to date, we haven't spent any of it. I looked back the year before, we got a little bit more. We got like $2,000, and we spent about almost $1,400 of that $2,000. So in a normal year, we should be able to, we would spend more than we have. Their argument is see how it goes. We're almost halfway through the year. And then if we run into something that's extraordinary, we can go back to Finance Committee, and they have a little slush fund that they're doling out just tiny little bits. So unless it's really, something that's really needed, they'll cover it. But if not, then we're not going to get it. So it is what it is. So, but that's bottom line is what we have to work with this year.
We're not getting raises?
No,
Well,
Not
you are. We're going to double your pay too.
unfortunately not. So I'll fill out the request. It's got to go in. It's got to be done by the 30th. We don't need to really take any action on it. I don't think we need a vote or anything else. It's a request at this point, and we're not going to get any more. So we'll have to live within our means somehow. Unless anybody has a trick or has some way to figure out how we can, actually, we should talk about that too, because we did get an invoice from Community Opportunities Group. I don't know. Can you hear me, Tim? Okay. So the last one that we got, the Sennies paid for. Now, the one for this one has traffic impact review, school impact review, and fiscal impacts. And it's all Riverbridge. The total amount due on that's $8,100. So that's good. Is that something that the Sennies are going to pay for? Okay. So do you want a copy of this invoice? Okay. So I'll drop this down to you as
Who's
well.
he talking
as,
to?
What?
Who's he talking to?
Tim.
Oh,
He doesn't have his microphone, so he's doing hand signals. So as well as I was given some mail you can't read it, but I was given some mail for you. It's upside down.
No, you had it right.
I had it right.
Yeah.
So it's coming from, you're a member, it's going to you, Timothy, for Community Preservation Act.
Committee.
Yeah. And then there's two others. There's Stades and Holyoke. They are the members?
They are.
Okay. Well, I guess you get that delivery because I got the delivery as a packet to give to you. So I will put all of this together and drop it off to you. All righty. So that takes care of that part of it. So the other item is Tim being reappointed to the CPA board. So we should probably take an action on that. So unless Tim, you want to do it again, right? Okay. So we should probably make a motion that Tim is the delegate to the CPA for representing our board.
So it's really the CPC, Community Preservation Committee.
CPC. Okay.
Yep.
They were calling it a CPA board, but you're right. So it should be a CPC. So we have a motion?
Sure. I'll make the motion to appoint Tim to be the planning board representative on CPC.
second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Does anybody need further discussion? Are we good? We're good. Okay.
Tim,
So
is that you calling in?
What?
he was trying to call in.
So,
Can't.
well, Oh, he hung up. All right.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw it pop up. Try it again. You want to wait or we want to take the roll call vote? Nope, he's trying again.
Oh. All right. All right, and unmute. I don't know why I can't. So I'm pressing unmute. It's just not
Not doing it.
working.
Hmm.
Oh, wait. Oh, are you
Hey,
there, Tim?
You can hear me.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Maybe he was censored by the select board.
I can't
So
computer.
I'm gonna rename. Go ahead.
I'm here. I'm fine. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So we've got a nomination and a second, and there was no further discussion, so I'll take the roll call vote to appoint Tim as our representative, planning board representative to the CPC board. Jay Teach,
Aye.
Timothy Wheeler,
Aye.
Carolyn McDonald,
Aye.
Janet Campbell,
Aye.
Tom Sanford, aye. Unanimously voted. Thank you for your service.
Vote on the budget request.
Do you want to vote on the budget request?
I don't know, do we need to?
I don't know. I mean,
Getting so good at it. We've done it twice already. You know, we should run a roll.
okay, so our budget request is for $1,000, which is the same amount that we got last year. Somebody want to make a motion that we put forth that much and do the paperwork? I'll do the paperwork and send it in to the capital planning committee.
I move that we submit a request for a budget of $1,000 for the planning board for the coming fiscal year. What is it? Fiscal year 2021?
2021, yeah.
Under
Second.
duress.
Okay, I got a
Second.
second. I got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion to this? No, people are pretty good. All right. So I will ask for a vote. Jay Teach,
Aye.
Timothy Wheeler,
Aye.
Carolyn McDonald,
Aye.
Janet Campbell,
Aye.
Tom Sanford, aye. Okay, we unanimously voted to request $1,000. So I'll fill that out. They've asked us to split it between expenses and mailing for whatever reason, for budget purposes. So I'll split it 50-50. It doesn't have to, it doesn't matter. They just like it to see it that way. So, all right, whatever. The only other thing that we have on the agenda is they're looking for a member of the planning board to volunteer for a group that they're going to get together for amendments to River Bridges development agreement and the mitigation and the possible renegotiation of that. So Margaret asked me to put this, to ask for a volunteer from our group. They want a board member that has knowledge of, you know, what was done down there and how it was put together and
Everything.
what?
Everything's changed.
Oh, yeah. But they and they want to renegotiate the development agreement and mitigation package. So
someone with historical knowledge of the
Yeah.
whole process.
And then also, the process, and I don't know who was on the original committee. I didn't do that one.
You didn't?
What?
Who did?
I don't recall. Do you, Tim, recall who was on the original negotiation committee?
I mean, it must have been Thomas was still floating
No,
around, right?
Thomas wasn't on it. Because Thomas
He wasn't?
was on Highland Commons with me. And then
Right.
I think he was asked for that one.
But we must have done Riverbridge in 2009 or something.
That's what I thought.
Probably 8 or 9, yeah.
And Thomas, we didn't participate in that?
I don't think so.
I mean, I must have.
I think you did.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
but They're looking for anybody to volunteer for that. And I don't even know how extensive it'll be or what, but they're trying to put together several members from various boards to start the discussions.
You want an old witch on the board?
I mean,
think they'll take anybody.
I've been working with them and discussing the development agreement with Margaret. So, I mean, I can keep doing that if you want, because it's what I've been bringing her up to speed.
Right.
With some of my recollections of why we did things certain ways. So.
Right. They're talking about the meetings will probably be more likely to be held during the day. They're going to be done on a Zoom platform. So.
I just have to get a mic that works on my computer and I'll be fine.
Well, if we had more than $1,000, you could put it in as an expense, but we don't, so.
I assume, Tim, I assume James checked to make sure the microphone was turned on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's easy,
Yeah.
but still gotta say.
He tried a bunch of things, but I had trouble with this the other day too at another Zoom meeting. So.
Yeah, I think that was the CPC one.
Is it external or internal?
It's internal, and I switched to Janet's computer that night, and I tried that tonight, but there's no one to. Well, I guess you could have let me in on that one, huh? But
yeah.
Hey, Jay, do you know off the top of your head whether if it's internal, if he updated firmware or updated any drivers or anything else, whether that might help?
I doubt it. That's
anyway,
weird that,
this works tonight, so we're good.
Okay. Maybe you should just buy an external microphone. And in fact, the best thing to do is you can buy this thing. It's what is it called? Jabra, I think it is.
I've seen those. Yep.
It looks like a hockey puck, and it plugs in with a USB, and it's got both a speaker and a microphone in it, and they work really well. And I've never had them go bad. What's that? Jabra, I think is the brand. There's a bigger one that's for conference rooms, and there's a little one for personal computers. And what I like about it is it's seems to be really bug-free. Every computer I've ever plugged one of those into has worked.
I'll try it.
Probably available on Amazon, everything else.
I'm sure you can probably have it by Thursday.
They're sending it now.
Tomorrow after.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been
They heard us
listening
talking
in.
about it. Yeah.
Alexa has already told them you want it, so.
Yeah, probably send it. Alexa, are you there?
Yeah.
All right.
Where's my stuff?
So do we want to entertain a motion that we volunteer Tim to assist us in this newly formed board?
Is it a board? Is it a committee? How do we describe it?
Actually, they called it a team. So
Team, all right.
Wow.
A team.
yeah,
Do you get sweatshirts?
maybe. There's no money in the budget.
Wait a minute.
Oh, right.
I may want to do it if there's gifts that go along.
Yeah, and if there's swag.
I move that we appoint Tim Wheeler as the planning board's representative on the team designated to renegotiate the River Bridge Development Agreement.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Thank you, Tim.
Yep, hearing none, I will ask for a roll call vote. Carolyn McDonald,
Aye.
Janet Campbell,
Aye.
Jay Teach,
Aye.
Tom Sanford, aye. We'll ask Timothy Wheeler.
Oh, aye.
Unanimously voted. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Okay, that's about all I have on the agenda that we put forth. If anybody has any timely items they want to add, or
Can someone answer a question about what's happened to the town meeting?
It's been postponed indefinitely.
Yes.
And I think the notice said something about, till we can do it outside.
I have the notice, so let's see what it says, if it says anything like that.
Or one of the early emails, but it sounds like we won't do anything until maybe even May, so.
I was talking to one of the selectmen and I said, you're going to kill all the old people in town if you do it in the fire station with the doors open.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's, especially with the COVID numbers going up and
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I think when they first started planning it, the numbers were still lower. And
But
then,
still, to have one in November with all the old people sitting in the outdoors, I mean, that's kind of nuts.
right.
Unless you're trying to kill us all off.
And what if there was a fire?
Right.
You have the trucks outside.
Oh,
They move the trucks out, the chairs in, and we'd sit there and freeze to death.
Doesn't say, the notice doesn't say anything about till we can meet outside, so,
Or killing the old people.
or kill off the old people.
My concern was that I wasn't convinced you'd have a very representative body assembled for
Definitely.
this.
Yeah, I agree. Especially for big stuff like what was going on at Riverbridge.
Right.
Yeah. Although there was a little bit of a strategy there, I could tell that they were trying to push the hearing to have the hearing.
Yeah, well, it's why I asked them what was going to happen if we didn't have a town meeting.
Well, there was requests from parties for the
Builder.
Dunkin' Donuts that we continue to hold the hearing.
Really?
They hinted at they would really like it, so,
Yeah.
but thinly covered, so.
Right.
And I don't, is there, I know that you have there's a statute about number of days before the meeting. Is there anything on the other end, how many days you can have it? In other words, if you had a public hearing and then you had the meeting 10 months later, is that copacetic or? Usually we'll work
That-
the other end.
It almost seems like well, I don't know. The important thing is the planning board has to, I guess the language is that if the planning board has to report in order for there to be a vote.
Right.
But if the planning board doesn't report, it almost seems like there's some time length there. Now, how would that work? It's almost as though if a certain amount of time has passed from the planning board hearing to the annual town or the town meeting and the planning board doesn't report it, you can still vote on it or something. I don't know. I'll look that up. There's some tricky language in there somewhere.
Right. I mean, do they want a public hearing to kind of vet the project?
To what?
Do you think that they're looking for,
I think they were looking to have minimum opposition,
Right.
oh,
I do
I
too.
see.
and then that way, oh, well, we had a hearing.
I see.
Well,
And there wasn't many people that
except they
attended.
didn't want to get the signatures themselves because they didn't want to expose Matt to COVID, but they would put all the old people in the fire barn.
Well, I think they were hoping all the old people would stay home.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because, they're concerned about your safety.
They got to be concerned about their own.
All right, well, that's
I got
all.
one other topic. I
What?
was looking through my notes here
Go ahead.
and I found this excerpt from one of the, I can't remember where I found it. It says, this is about solar, the big solar facility that we just put in. When a screen consists of plant materials, said materials shall provide screening at the time of planting and be of a type that shall be expected to form a year-round dense screen.
Ah,
Has anybody driven by to see how much screening there is at the time?
no,
of
there
planting?
isn't much.
I think they got little 6-inch sap, trees from.
But
Got
that's
them from the same people with Charlie Brown tree farm that they did for the one across the street from me.
Oh, is that right?
Mhm. Yeah, the guy planted 6-inch pines.
Right. Well, I
No,
think
they
they planted
didn't.
arborvitae, which
No
if
one,
any-
and it was our fault. We told them the frequency of where to plant them, blah, 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 and everything else. We never
But
talked
not the
about
height.
all
Well, if this is indeed from the agreement for that particular project, it says shall provide screening at the time of planting.
Sure. So something
me,
puny
that's-
wouldn't do that.
That's,
But they didn't do it at Highland Commons either. The screening wasn't complete, all the way around Highland Commons.
well, I don't know who told me this, but it seems like what happens is very often we put in requirements like that and then people just ignore it.
Yeah.
And there's no enforcement. So it kind of,
That's right.
and I'm just wondering because I don't know when that facility goes online, but I think once it goes on, once there's a permit to start operating it, I think we've lost all of our leverage. If we're going to do anything, we should do it soon.
Right. Conservation issued a partial certificate of compliance because they're still having some erosion issues, not nearly what it was at first.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Oh God. It was every bit the nightmare that we hoped it wouldn't be. And, you've got 28 acres of dirt on the hilltop
Yeah.
and Northbrook at the bottom of the hill. And they silted over, I think 4 or 5 times. We issued 3 enforcement orders, I think. But without a bylaw, we can't fine. All we can do is stop work. And so there's minimal incentive to comply. I mean, they did, but it took them 2 months to get it right. To even stop the silting events. I mean, they had double thickness, double height hay bales reinforced with a decent gauge wire, and the water was just plowing through it, going up and over it, pushing it over, going under it. The velocity of the water that was coming off that hill for the longest time was unbelievable.
But how do hay bales say they don't help? They don't last very long.
No, they don't. So they had to keep, and until, so then they seeded finally.
Yeah.
But the soil quality was so poor after they tore everything up that only like a third of it germinated. So then they had to reseed. And so we're just going to wait till spring to issue a final certificate of compliance. But the partial, this goes back to what you were saying, Jay, the partial allows them to go online. So, and I believe the enforcement order was the last thing that was holding that up.
So do we have any leverage left to try to get them to put decent trees in?
Probably have to talk to the building inspector and find out
Hmm.
where where they are in the process with them on getting their finals.
Yeah. Because I
It
think
went
our
through the-
general premise was it was an acceptable, use for the land, assuming we couldn't see it. But we're going to be
But they
seeing
have-
it for 4 years.
Yeah, they've got to go through the ZBA for that site plan approval. So theoretically, there would have been language in that decision that would have addressed the screening issue. I haven't looked at, are you looking at the ZBA site plan? I mean,
It was a
decision
while
or-
ago that I just kind of grabbed an excerpt. I'm not sure what I was reading. So I'm going to have to figure out where it came from.
I mean, is it our zoning bylaw you're reading a piece of, or is it the ZBA?
Think this, I'm not sure. I thought
Maybe
it was
we,
specific to
maybe
this
we should
project.
write a note to the ZBA,
Asking what the language is.
asking where they are in the process. Have they given a permit?
Yeah,
If we
That would've-
wait, then it will be too late.
well, site plan approval was more than, I mean, how long did they start the project? A year ago?
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, that's the plan though, not the actual.
But the ZBA would have gone through site plan approval before they could start construction.
Right. And so ultimately, the building inspectors is the enforcing person to the language in the ZBA special permit, correct?
Was that a time when Joe was building inspector and wasn't around all the
It
time?
was right at that transition time that I remember, because I spoke to Joe about my concerns about the erosion and then had to speak to Hank also about it. So it was all kind of right at that transition time.
Yep. So that's what happened probably too.
But if we find out what the language in the ZBA special permit is, we can at least then ask, if it doesn't comply, we can ask Hank to address
Richard.
that.
Richard, you mean?
I'm
Richard.
sorry, Richard Hanks. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, maybe I'll mention it to him.
I think Carolyn's volunteering to represent the Conservation Commission and the Planning Board in an endeavor to ascertain what actually happened in the language. Is that true, Carolyn?
I could do that. Yeah. Do you want me to find out what the special permit says and go from there? Yeah, I can do that.
I think that's great.
I can do that. Yes.
You would think with a project that had to cost a couple $1 million or something, they could spend,
11 or 12 on trees.
a few tens of thousands on making the townspeople happy by making it not an eyesore for them.
Nope.
Right.
Probably not, because they probably already sold it to somebody else, and that group will sell it to someone else. And
Yep.
in the end,
And if they ever come back to town, they'll worry about it then.
exactly.
But by then they can say, but that wasn't us.
Exactly.
Right.
Like when it's
Well,
time
and-
to
and-
remove it.
Right. Most contractors are like, oh, but the trees will grow. And they will. And in 15
Basic
years, you won't be
irrigation.
able to see it.
Well, assuming they're irrigated too, that's,
Yeah, I do believe I heard that some of the Abervite have already died. Which,
yeah,
I
the
don't know
first.
if you guys remember me with Highland Commons. No Abervite.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, no, it dies. It dies. The
Not if
deer
you put
eat
water on
it.
it. If you gotta keep water, the
But,
first.
and Yeah.
And they don't.
they don't.
I mean, they grow fast and they grow tall fast if you take care of them.
So doesn't
Well, they could have taken some of the water running down the hill and
and diverted it. Yeah.
Stored it, you have to store it and then present it to the trees.
So I will find out about that.
Thank you.
So when is our next meeting?
December,
Yeah,
Okay,
second Tuesday.
second Tuesday, yep.
okay.
So. And the 8th. 12/8.
Cool.
And that'll be the last one for the year.
Oh, there's not one on the 22nd. Okay.
No,
Well, you can be there.
Okay.
Awesome.
All
Motion
right,
to adjourn?
if no other timely items, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? No? Oh, we have to probably do this by roll call. Jay Teach,
Aye.
Tim Wheeler,
Aye.
Carolyn McDonald,
Aye.
Janet Campbell,
I.
Tom Sanford, aye. Thank you all.